Good morning. Today in class we are going to be working with adding and subtracting mixed numbers, which we also worked on yesterday, but today we're going to be working on problems that involve carrying and borrowing. So we're going to look at one specific type of problem here first, and then I'm going to show you other examples of problems with carrying and borrowing, show you how to work them out, and then get you guys a little bit of practice today in class. So as we look at this, remember that just like a normal addition problem, we want to work our adding fraction problems out from right to left. So as we look at this, our first problem, we notice that our fraction, we have 2/5 plus 3/5. Remember that I go ahead, I put my denominator down at the bottom, and now I'm going to go ahead and add. So I have 2 plus 3 is 5. And if I look down here, we actually ran into this problem a little bit yesterday, and it's the reason why I'm starting off with this one, because some of us had a little bit of difficulty with this. So if you look at this fraction, you have 5 over 5. You have 5/5. It's really equal to 1 whole. So anytime you have a fraction like this, 7 over 7, 8 over 8, 2 over 2, doesn't matter, it's 1 whole. You can go ahead, you can cross off, you can erase, do whatever with the fraction. Take the whole number and carry it over to the whole number column, to your left column, and then go ahead and add it onto your whole numbers. So you have 1 plus 7 is 8, 8 plus 5 is 13. And you can just write your answer just like that, just as a whole number. So even though you started off the problem as mixed numbers and having those fractions in there, doesn't mean that you can't end up with an answer that's just a whole number. Perfectly acceptable, and it's the right thing to do. All right, so most of our problems today aren't going to look like that. Most of our problems today are going to look like this problem. So as we look at it, remember we're starting right to left, so we're going to start with our fractions. We have 5/8 and 4/8. I'm going to go ahead, put my denominator down at the bottom, and then add up my numerators. So I have 5 plus 4 is 9. Now, before I can take the next step and go to my whole numbers, if you notice here, I now have an improper fraction after I added. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to regroup this fraction. So since your denominator is 8, in order to get this so it's not an improper fraction, you're going to have to take the whole number out of the improper fraction. So since the denominator is 8, I'm going to take 8 out of the numerator. And so if I take away 8, I'm left with just 1. Now that 8, I can't just throw it away or get rid of it or anything. It's actually a whole number. So what I can do with it is I can carry it over to my whole number column, put it up at the top, and now go ahead and add it. So I have 1 plus 8 is 9, 9 plus 4 is 13. And so that's what my answer would look like. Okay? So just remember, when you get down here to the bottom with your fraction, you're breaking out the whole, you're carrying it to the whole numbers, and you're adding it. So that's how it should look. If you end your problem and you have an improper fraction over here, what you need to do is go back, and you can do it afterwards. So if I had done this problem without breaking out that improper fraction, that's the answer I would have gotten. So if you get this at the end, again, it's really simple. Take the denominator, subtract it from the numerator, and then just add 1 on to the whole number. Some people actually prefer what I just showed you here. So if it's easier for you and the strategy works, then you can also do that. Okay, moving on to subtraction here really quick. We actually touched a little bit on this yesterday. We had more practice with these types of problems though yesterday. So this is something that's almost totally new for us today. And these can be a little bit trickier, or some people think that they're just about the same as far as difficulty. So if you look at this, you're starting with your fraction. Again, subtraction problems, you're working right to left on your subtraction. So you're going to go ahead, bring down your denominator. But then when you look at your numerator, up here at the top, you have a 1 and a 3. Since you can't subtract the 1 and the 3, this is just like a normal subtraction problem. You're going to borrow. So I'm going to take the 6, I'm going to turn it into a 5, and I'm borrowing 1 whole. Since I'm borrowing 1 whole, I'm going to look at my denominator, which in this case is 5, and I'm going to add that number onto my numerator. So instead of having 1/5, I now have 6/5. Once I have that done, now I can go ahead and subtract. So I have 6 minus 3 is 3. And now I can go back over and deal with my whole numbers. Just remember to cross off your whole number when you borrow from it. So when you come back over here and deal with your whole numbers, you're picking out the right number. So 5 minus 3 is 2, and you have 2 3/5. So this is what we're going to be working on today. Thank you very much.